Hi everyone, welcome to Industrial and Infrastructure Construction. Occasionally, short videos will be released to address important questions or concerns raised in the Moodle forums, and additional insight will be provided to you to give a better understanding of what it is like to be on a construction site. Because there aren't any questions from students in the Moodle forums at the moment, I'll be exploring some key elements from Samad's Site Layout 360 module. The link to the module is highlighted here for you to watch in your own time, or you can pause this video and watch it now. It is entirely up to you. So this is the link, which is highlighted in yellow. You would need to type this link out. Unfortunately, I might arrange to post it up on a forum, and you can just copy and paste it on to the web browser, and yeah, press enter. A similar thumbnail to what is shown below should appear, where Samad is on the left and a site manager for multiplex is on the right. And their discussion on site layout takes place at what is now known as the Science and Engineering Building at UNSW. Please keep in mind that this is a interactive module, so by holding down the left click button on your mouse, you can virtually navigate the site. So, boxed out in red is the construction site, surrounded by the law building below, the roundhouse to its left, and the material science and engineering building to its right. So the main focus of this installment is site layout planning. Right? So planning the layout of a construction site occurs prior to the commencement of construction on site and is dependent on many factors. These factors may include, and are not limited to, size of area available. We must consider both vertical and horizontal. Horizontal plane being, suppose you were to enter site, beneath your feet would be the horizontal plane, right? As you walked left and right. Vertical plane would be from existing ground level below your feet to the air, okay, as you look up and down. So this factor is dependent on the project scope, client, and main contractor involved. Construction is restricted to within a boundary line specified in a design that is approved for construction. This is unless instructed otherwise by the client. Wooden hoarding, temporary fencing, concrete and waterfield barriers are usually placed near these boundary line perimeters to minimize the impacts of construction on the surrounding community and to separate the construction site from the public for security and safety reasons. So essentially, you don't want anyone who is not inducted, anyone who is not wearing the appropriate PPE, anyone who has no business to that site, in the site, okay? Likewise, you don't want anything from site out in the public. So what I mean by that is, you don't want like a piece of wood flying over the hoarding, or you don't want waste from the wheel of a truck tracking onto the road network. Okay, you can attract hefty fines by doing any of those things I've just listed. So another factor would be sequence of construction operations. So at the time this module was recorded, the project was undergoing mass hauling earthworks to meet program milestones. So 4 excavators of different sizes and capabilities were used to cut existing sand and fill imported crushed material to construct a working platform for a CFA piling rig to operate safely. Laydown areas are also established for the delivery of procured materials, temporary storage of supplies, and assembly of reinforcement and construction equipment. So another factor would be entry points, so ingress and egress, and transportation routes. So as the site manager mentioned, loading 24 trucks to remove 2,000 tons of soil every day is no easy task, especially when external factors are involved. These factors could include adherence to the 5 km/h speed limits inside the university, separation from surrounding pedestrian foot traffic and vehicles, and coordinating with the Sydney Light Rail project road modifications and road closures. Another factor to consider could be required site facilities. So what is needed on site? This is dependent on project size, the scope, to what extent these facilities remain relevant to its stakeholders, contractor and the client needs, site area available, and the project budget. So examples of some facilities can include site accommodation, the kitchen, lunchrooms, meeting rooms, first aid rooms, site offices, female, male bathrooms, so separate bathrooms for each gender, fabrication yards for precast concrete elements, parking lots for staff vehicles and shared vehicles, scaffold storage, vending machines, and a canteen, etc. Sometimes modular site offices and facilities are arranged on top of each other to optimize safe work environment areas and to overcome severe space restrictions. Another factor to consider is information signs. So an example of an information sign could be a site map, and these site maps would contain details of the project, such as main contact details and the name of the PM, project manager, the site manager, and site supervisor, right? And these signs are commonly displayed at the entrance gate or around site offices. Another example would be evacuation maps, and these evacuation maps would contain an evacuation escape route in case of an emergency, and personnel would be required to make their way safely to a marshalling point. And lastly, another information sign would be traffic regulatory signs, so wayfinding signs. These signs help guide traffic on site and minimize potential accidents. So, for example, subcontractors who are new to sites, as well as delivery truck drivers who have never been to your site before, they might find this very useful, right, in finding the right place to lay down their deliveries. So yeah, there you have a few factors to consider when planning your site layout, and yeah, feel free to think of more factors to consider, as it will be very useful for your group assessment. So in the coming weeks, I encourage everyone to post their questions onto the Moodle forum, and either Samad or the tutors will attend to it. Until next time, stay warm and safe, everyone.